All right, Jenks, how about you get animated about your alumni, your school, because I think they're your first pick of the day.
Let's do it. Texas -9 against Oklahoma at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas. Guys, it is hate week. I need a special intro for this one, Double D.
Jenks thinks.
The good Lord says to love one another, but I would venture to say that the man upstairs has never met an Oklahoma Sooner. You know what a Sooner is, by the way, right? It's a land thief, someone who stole back in the late 1800s, and that tradition is continuing today. The Sooners are stealing from our collective intelligence by their mere existence. They are stealing from our better nature with their backwoods way of doing things. The Sooners are stealing from their own self-respect because they are defined by their hatred of the Longhorns. And even that is not unique to Oklahoma. In 2019, ESPN published an article where 11 schools identified Texas as their primary rival. 11. Because even when we struggle, everyone wants a piece of the horns because we're the big dogs. So when you Sooners are making out with your sisters this weekend and deciding how many corn dogs you can stuff down your disgusting gullets, you can also kiss the rest of your season goodbye, because the mighty University of Texas Longhorns are coming to Dallas on Saturday, and we are leaving with a win. I bet this on Thursday at -7. I will bet it again today. Texas -9 against the Land Thieves. Let's get it.
Ooh. Well, clearly, we know how you feel. And Jenks, I think you should do that monologue the next time you go to Wendy's at the drive-thru. Like,
Yes.
do you want some food or not?
Sir.
All right. If you do want to watch that game, it is set for high noon in the East.
Pick six. Pick six.
All right, speaking of rivals, this is my rival and the team I hate the most. But you know what? I'm riding with the University of North Carolina because I'm seeing value here, and I'm pushing my hatred of Baby Blue aside for just a moment. Because UNC getting 3.5 points at Miami, this is a Miami team that I feel like has not proven themselves. The only good team that they have played this season, Texas A&M, they didn't cover that number. They only scored 9 points. I get it. That's a great defense. UNC is not a good defense. But look at the offenses here. If any offense can really put it to anybody in the country, it's UNC. Right now, Drake May, 19 touchdowns, 1 interception, leads the nation in touchdowns so far. This team is averaging 500 yards of offense per game. I don't think this Miami team can hang. So I'll take UNC plus 3.5 because I don't think the Canes deserve to be favorites here.
Ooh, I cannot figure out what to do with this game. I'm not quite sure what the over is, but I think I would lean over just because UNC cannot stop anyone on defense. I've said over and over again that I don't believe that Gene Chizik is the man for the job. The total is 66.5. I would still take the over, and Miami's awful. So, yeah, I would be on the over at 66.5. I know that's a crazy high number. I think this is a shootout, so that would be my play. Kickoff set for 4 o'clock in the East on Saturday from Coral Gables.
Pick six. Pick six.
Did I mention it's hate week? Because it is. Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher at Alabama. Crimson Tide laying 24.5 points. If you believe in prayer, pray for Texas A&M this weekend. By nearly every metric, this is one of the worst offenses in the country. It looks like Max Johnson is out for the Aggies. That means they're probably going to go back to Haynes King, who has not looked good this season. They have a stud freshman by the name of Connor Wigman, I think. I'm probably getting that wrong. And there's some scuttlebutt that maybe they'll put him in. You want to put a freshman in on the road in Tuscaloosa for his first college football game? Bad idea. We all remember what happened a few months ago when Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher had their war of words over A&M's recruiting class because they were just paying these guys right and left. I can assure you, Nick Saban has not forgotten. He is on edge. He lost this game last year against his former assistants. Saban is 11-4 against the spread. The Aggies are 1-5 against the number in their last 6 road games. Is that the A&M fight song? Turn that crap off, Double D. Bryce Young is practicing again for the Tide. Even if he doesn't play, it won't matter because the A&M run defense one of the worst in the country. Alabama by 1,000,000 over Texas A&M, and you'll only need 24.5.
Well, there are two guarantees in this game that Nick Saban will run up the score if he can. And also, Jimbo Fisher is going to be talking 1,000,000 miles an hour at the end of the game. Dadgummit. That's how he always does. All right, if you do want to watch this one, it is a night game, 8 Eastern in Tuscaloosa.
Pick six. Pick six.
All right, let's stay in the SEC, shall we? Let's head to LSU, to Baton Rouge, where Tennessee and LSU are squaring off. I'm going to go with Tennessee here, laying the 3. We talk about dynamic offenses, and usually these are teams I want to back in college football. And that's what I think it is. I think Tennessee's offense is too much for LSU. LSU does have a pass rush, but so far I haven't seen enough from their offense to think that they can keep up with Hendon Hooker and this fast-paced Tennessee offense that is one of the faster-paced teams in all of college football. So I will take the Vols here. I think it's the better offense at a short price. It worries me a bit that it's at LSU, but it's not a night game. So I think it's a little different. If it's a night game at LSU, maybe it's a little different, but still, it's a short number. This Tennessee offense can certainly cover. They've looked nothing short of amazing this season. So let's go Vols.
Chelsa, I am going to tell you on this for 2 reasons. Number one, I think LSU is going to have a hard time with Hendon Hooker. Number two, as you said, games in Baton Rouge are much different. And number 3, I just don't like Brian Kelly. You talk about bias. I don't like Brian Kelly and his fake accent. And I think the improvement that we've seen from LSU over the past few games after that heartbreaker against Florida State is a bit of a misnomer here. So I'm with you. Let's lay those 3 points. Matt makes a good point. Brian Kelly does have fire dance moves. Forget about his coaching. The man can move. Regardless, I'm laying it with Tennessee. Kickoff set for high noon from Death Valley in Baton Rouge.
Pick six. Pick six.
This is my favorite play of the weekend. Houston at Memphis. Total set at 57 and a hook. We're hitting the over here. Early in the year, I was all over the Cougars as a group of 5 team that could perhaps disrupt the college football playoff. I was way off on that because they don't play any defense. The Cougars have the 114th passing defense in the country. And now they have to face Memphis quarterback Seth Hennigan, a sophomore who has already thrown for more than 1,200 yards this season to go along with 9 touchdowns and 1 pick. On the flip side, they've been in Houston for what seems like 17 years. Clayton Tune and Nathaniel Dell, but they are a lethal combination, and they will face a Tigers defense that is ranked 123rd in the country. Neither of these defenses can stop the pass, and that's what both of these offenses want to do. This is going to be a fun game to watch, and this number is way, way too low. This is a number that should be in the 60s. Over 57.5 points between Houston and Memphis.
Yeah, I really like that one. If you do want to watch it, it is 7:30 this Saturday from Memphis.
Pick six. Pick six.
All right, finally for me, I'm going to go with the over 59.5 in Michigan and Indiana. I think this Michigan offense is really firing on all cylinders, and they really, haven't played defenses like Indiana's. And I'm talking about bad defenses because Indiana gave up 35 points to Nebraska. What do you think Michigan's going to do? And plus, Indiana, they can at least put up some points. They've scored at least 23 points in all of their games this season. And plus, both of these teams operate at a pretty high pace, one of both in the top 25, I believe, in plays per game. So I'm going to go with the over in Michigan and Indiana, over 59.5.
I have not looked a lot at that game. I'll tell you on that. I want to throw in one more play, and I don't know if I'm going to play it or not, but we got some time here. Purdue taking on Maryland, and the Terps are laying 3 points. I think Maryland is surprisingly decent this season. They've got a good offensive line. Talia Tungavailoa, Tua's younger brother, has come on as the leader of that offense, and I think we're giving Purdue a little bit too much credit for that big win over Minnesota. So if you're looking at an alternate game, I'm a little nervous because I gave out Texas at 9. I got them at 7 yesterday. It was part of our parlay, but that is jacked up because Quinn Ewers is going to start now. And then the Alabama number makes me a touch nervous because it's 24 and a hook and it's right above that key number. But Maryland, if you don't like those, I get it. But Maryland -3 is another game I like. I think Purdue is overvalued here, and I think the Terps cover.
Ooh, a little bonus pick for you guys.
Bonus pick.
There will be no bonus picks from me.